And we're live. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining in. And looking forward to having an interesting conversation with you guys. I hope you've been great and that you had a great start of the month. It's February. How time flies so fast. I hope January has been so productive. It's been great for you. So and that your entry into February, it's already 5 days into it, and I hope in the midst of everything that's going on, a lot of uncertainty, I trust you're keeping safe and that you're doing great. So it's always a pleasure to be on board with you guys and just be here to have live conversations and exchange ideas and all that. So welcome aboard, and it's great to have you here. So the topic of the day is just the theme launch. We're just launching our February theme. As you know, we have been talking about planning throughout the whole month of January, and I hope it really got us started. I hope it really got us in the vibe, and probably you took some measures or you adopted some strategies. I believe you might have learned something that really was helpful to help you plan better. And so I'm just gonna go straight to share our session for today. Hi Kevins, I'm seeing you joining in. Welcome everybody. So we are going to launch our theme of the day, so of the month of February. So we are talking about speed. Speed, that's the theme of the month. And the reason why, it's because probably most of you, all of you maybe have observed how February is obviously a short month, but it goes up like so quickly, so it's like before you know it, some call it's a love month. People are all about Valentine, and then before we know it, it's already we are halfway past it and it's already over. So that being the shortest month of the year, and it's just after January when it's a lot of things, people are looking into the year, and before you know it, it's already March. So we kind of need speed to catch up with the month. Okay, so I hope you're already thinking about it, maybe you're already experiencing it, just like like since February started, I was even reflecting of thinking about the things I've been able to achieve and things like that. So I felt like I'm kind of slowing down. I think January was quite a lot, and now February was kind of slowing me down. And I was like, okay, I think I need to catch up with it. It's moving too fast and probably it's gonna leave me behind. So I hope most of you can relate to it. So we're gonna talk about speed, just to launch it, okay? Just to launch it and just talk about how we can catch up with, with everything going so, so fast, given that the limitations, the resources, probably have a lot to do. So how do you keep up with that? How can you speed, and why is that important? Why are we talking about speed? Why don't you just be, in your own lane? You just go on smoothly with life and things like that. So probably you're thinking about it, and feel free to share your thoughts. Feel free to engage, and I'll be happy to hear more about that, like how you view speed, how you relate to it, and whether you're a fast person or a slow person. I don't know. What do you think about it? Okay. So I'm seeing Elko G just join in. So please just, if you can just tell us where you're checking in from and what speed means to you, where do you see yourself? How do you see the month of February, just the year generally? How is it going? How are you catching up with that and things like that? And I'll be sharing more as we move on. Okay, so good to see everyone joining in. Okay, so I know when we... Oh, thank you. Appropriate topic, appropriate timing for me. Okay, that's great. And so when we think about speed, I think what comes to mind is the word fast, right? How do you do something fast in a short time? Given, how do you maximize? Probably it's the moment, the activity, and something like that. So how do you maximize that in a very short time? So I hope, words like that. How can I be faster? How can I do something quickly in a short time. So you have to bring in the time factor. But I think when I think about people like athletes, sports people, actually, people in sports, I think they relate so much with this word speed than maybe most of us who are not into sports, right? But probably we do watch them. We do, if you ever watch the Olympics or you watch in these competitions, whether it's racing cars or it's cyclists or swimmers, all that you can think about, different competitions in sports, athletes, runners. Time and speed, those are very important aspects. They spend their lives, into that. How can they do it faster? How can they do it shorter? Among other factors. And then, and so we can learn a lot from them, the athletes or the sports people, on how, for them, speed is more than just time, right? For us, when you think about speed, it's just about time. How can I do so much in a very short time? How can I maximize? But for sports people or athletes, I think there's so many factors that, speed for them is a process, it's like an outcome. There's so many factors that, are into it. And I just want to talk about them just a little bit, and perhaps, you guys can join in and engage as we move on. So one of the things that I want to touch on when we talk about speed, and how, it's just more than time, is that speed requires practice, right? So just think about runners who do a marathon, or a sprint. So it's like, it's 2 hours or maybe it's 15 minutes. So it just doesn't happen. You wake up today and run a marathon and, you get to be, you meet the that time schedule, so it's not easy. You need to practice every day. You need to practice to just meet that goal in that specific amount of time. So swimmers, all these sports people, so they do a lot of practice because they know that's the only time they're going to fit in, and how can they do better and, and faster. So I hope we can sort of relate to that, so it's not just, you just don't wake up or, do something and just think about how can I do it faster in a short time. Think about how can you prepare for that, because it's all about, doing it better, doing it right, and things like that. So that's very important, all right? So welcome, Odax, The Wanderer. It will be nice to get to know your names, your real names, and where you're checking in from. And we're talking about speed here. We're talking about speed and why it's very important in our lives, and that's the theme of the month of February for Mimi Nani, and we hope that we can resonate with most of you on how we can apply speed, but meaningfully, right? And we're learning so much from, just sharing how people, sports people, do apply a lot of this, when it's more than just time. So another thing that I wanted to talk about when it comes to speed, and that, it requires focus, okay? So if you don't focus, you can just speed without focus, right? So focus is basically, you remove every distraction, whatever that is standing on your way. You have to be careful to avoid that so that you can really get to where you're going much faster in a short time, right? So speed requires focus. I believe racers, especially the car racers, or, people who are in competitions, or people who are, if you're swimming so fast, you have to focus. If you're just driving your car and you're not focusing, most likely, you're going to turn into a fatal accident or something. So when speed is not really focused on something, or, to the end, to the destination, most likely you're going to run into an accident, or, it's going to be deadly or something, right? So speed requires focus, okay? Thank you, everyone who is joining in. Once again, we're talking about speed. Okay, so please join in and contribute. Thank you, Elko G from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, East Africa. All right, so please let us know your name, where you're checking in from, and it'll be nice to learn, what are your insights, what are your thoughts around speed, and how you feel, ready to kind of adapt this. And today we're just launching the theme. All of the month of February, we are going to be talking about speed in different ways. How can we achieve more, faster, and smarter, right? So it's not just about being faster, but you need to really, be strategic, which is another thing that I wanted to talk about. It's not just about applying speed, but you have to be strategic. You have to focus, and that's very important. And so, I want you to think about your life. Think about your life as a race, because truly life is a race. Think about your life as a race, and you are some sort of an athlete, let's say a runner, right? So you're a runner and your life is a race. So think about it. It could be a marathon that you have to run, or it could be a sprint. All right, we know a sprint takes a much shorter time, it's much faster, and then the marathon is the one that is much longer, and but it still has a timeline. So both require speed. They're both limited in terms of time, but now they have different applications when it comes to the way it is. One is shorter, one is longer, but I would like to think about it as they both require similar principles, right? They require focus, they require practice, and they require for you to be strategic. So think about it, relating to our theme in January, where we're talking about planning. How do you see yourself applying that, right? What things in your life look like a marathon? They're a marathon for you. They require speed, but it's a marathon race, right? And then think about your life in things that are sprint-like, maybe they're short-term, they're daily, they're, you need to be even much faster and more strategic into them. So I want you to think about that, and how do you see yourself applying your speed into each one of them? And we're going to learn more about, different strategies we can apply or adopt. Let me just check on our time if we're still having time. But let me hear from you guys. What do you think about this? And, how do you do your things, right? Okay, so we have like 3 minutes to go, and it will be really nice to hear from you guys. Like, what do you think? And we are really trying to stick to time. It's a 15-minute talk, and we're learning about speed here. So time is very important, but also, we have to be strategic and focused. So I would love to hear from you guys. What do you think? What are your, key points when it comes to speed, to focus, to achieving more, in a smarter way, to being strategic and things like that. And if you want more about, if you want, we're actually signing up people for a special session on speed, like how you can achieve more faster and smarter. We'll be signing up, for a special session for that, which is more intensive. It's, with all the practical strategies on how you can have, you can apply more speed. So if you have questions around, am I slow? What are the things that slow me down? Maybe I do tend to procrastinate a lot. Maybe I get to be distracted. And, are people, maybe am I born, slow? Or people who are there certain people who like have, natural ability in speed, like they're faster than I am and things like that? Or maybe how can I be, how can I attach my speed? Maybe I'm always fast, but I cannot attach my speed to productivity. So something like that. So if you have questions around that, or you want to just get better and adopt better strategies to apply speed so that you can do more faster and smarter, we'll share a link with you, and you can sign up for that session, and we'll reach out to those who are interested. Please look up for that link when we post it a bit later. And please sign up, and we'll have more details about how you can be a part of the session, and we'll have more discussions about this topic and how you can see yourselves perhaps, getting better or improving. Okay, so Claudie Love. Okay, thanks everybody who has been able to join us. Would be nice to hear from you. What are your thoughts about this? I'll be happy to read from you. We have like 1 minute to go. Kevin's, thank you for your comment. Speed for us is about strategically focusing on events that falls within this first quarter, I believe, of the year. Like International Day for Education was last week. Any organizations who missed out on that would have to wait until next year. Oh, I like that. I like that. So it's like about, seeing the timing and being strategic about the timing. There are things that don't come every day. Like as he said, as Kevin said, it's education, International Day of Education happens once a year. So you need to be like, it links to planning. You have to plan ahead. You have to be focused. You have to be strategically, and just be fast at that, right? So you can just speed to nowhere. You have to have something to really, to focus on and be strategic about. That really helps you to save a lot of time. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for that comment. Okay. So looks like we are out of time. So please, it was a pleasure to have this conversation. Don't miss out next week. Same time like now, we're going to be talking about another topic on speed. Okay, we'll share that soon as well. Just follow our pages and share this widely, and just the process of getting better and improving ourselves. So again, I'll share a link for you to sign up for the session if you really want more of this as well, and more of live and interactions and things like that. So till then, have a good time and bye-bye.